Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. For today's video, we're going to be reviewing a brand new drugstore foundation. I think this one has literally come out in the last week or so. This is the new MUA Pro Base Foundation Stick. I do really like MUA as a brand. They are a super affordable brand. I think they have some products that are misses, definitely, but they do also do some great products, including their original Pro Base foundation. I have worn it countless times on my channel and on my Instagram. I do really like it. So I was really excited to see that they were giving us a brand new foundation, and I just had to order it and get it tested out for you guys to see if it's any good. We are going to go through the details together. We're going to apply it together. I'm going to have timestamps in the description box if you want to skip ahead to any sections. We're going to do some check-ins throughout the day. We're going to see how it lasts. We're going to see if it is mask proof, because I am going to be heading to work, because yes, I forgot to mention in my last video, but I finally have a job. I'm finally employed again. It is a part-time job and it's really local to me, which is really great because it means that it still gives me enough time to film 3 videos a week. I think I might have to change my schedule a little bit, but I will keep you guys updated. So yeah, I'm actually going to be able to test this foundation in a real life situation, which I'm really happy about. So I'm going to leave you guys here. I will be seeing you guys in a few hours, and I will leave you guys with past me to try out this foundation. Alright guys, it's actually pretty early as I'm sitting down to film this. Well, for me anyway, it's about 10 to 8. I don't normally sit down to film this early, but I need to leave for work in about 2.5 hours. So I've technically got ages to get ready, but it always takes me absolutely ages to film a video. Also, if you can hear any sort of outside noises, I do have the window open. It's actually surprisingly warm in here, even though it's not meant to be like particularly nice today. And there is a hair escaping, as always. I've tried to pin this down so many times. I don't know why it won't stay in. So let's actually jump into the foundation then. So this is the MUA Pro Base Foundation Stick. I was really surprised that MUA were releasing a foundation stick. I don't know, I feel like they were really popular a few years ago, but no one's really doing them at the moment. People are doing like a lot of very light skin tints, tinted moisturizers, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, I was a bit surprised that they went with a foundation stick, but I thought, why not? Let's have a quick look at the claims. Let's see what it does. It is a full coverage matte finish foundation stick formulated with argan oil. Matte finish, I like the idea of under the mask. I feel like it's going to be less likely to rub off. Argan oil, I'm a bit concerned about. I think it's there to make sure that it stays nice and hydrating, that it doesn't dry out, but at the same time, argan oil on oily skin, I don't know how that's going to go. We'll have to see during the wear test. This foundation stick with a built-in blending brush makes application on the go quick and easy. The multi-purpose precision stick can be used to cover blemishes, target key areas, and contour. Different formulations can take colour differently. Don't panic, the foundation sticks apply darker on application, however when blended, match as closely as possible our foundations and concealers. I actually quite like that they've included that, and we've seen foundations before that dry down darker, things like that. I think it's definitely helpful to have that piece of information there for you to understand what's going to happen with the foundation. Unfortunately, I won't be able to compare this shade to the one that I have in the Pro Base. I have 110 in the Pro Base foundation, which I do like, but when I was shopping on their website, I went to the Pro Base foundation, and they have a nice handy little chart telling you what has a cool undertone, what has a warm undertone, and a neutral undertone, and this one actually has a warm undertone, which definitely isn't me. So I went with 102 instead, which seems to be like the same shade level, but this one has a more neutral undertone, so I thought this would suit me better. I've got to take this plastic off. Is there no easy opening for this plastic? How am I gonna... So I ordered mine on the MUA website directly. I placed my order on Sunday. It got here by Wednesday. So nice, quick shipping, no problems with dispatch or anything. I had to pay a shipping fee because I think their threshold is about £30. So I think I paid $2.99 or $3.99, which did bring the cost up. I received it yesterday, and then I went on Beauty Bay and it was now available. So I could have had free next day delivery. I don't know when it went up, but I was a little bit like, oh, all I had to do was wait. Price wise, we're looking at £6 for 7.2 grams. You guys know me in my spreadsheets. I had to make one, so I will insert it, just comparing it to a few different other stick foundations out there. In terms of how much product you get, it's not huge. It's actually one of the smaller ones that I could find. It actually contains the same amount of product as the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation, which is £45. So it's definitely a much better deal than that, but there are also some more affordable options out there. It's just not a ton of product. So I guess we better actually get into applying this product, see what it looks like, if the shade is right. I mean, the shade is looking pretty good. Okay, well, let's swipe it on. Okay, that looks like a pretty good match. It maybe looks like a little bit pale on me in real life. I feel like on camera it does look really good. In real life it almost looks like it's a little bit pale, but if I put it on my neck, it's not bad. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. I'm quite happy with that match. I've just gone straight in. I've realized I forgot to mention what I've got on my skin. I've done my morning skincare routine. I will have all of that listed below. I do have SPF on my skin because I wear my SPF every day. I am skipping primer though. I think for foundation reviews, I just want to see how a foundation performs. I don't want to be experimenting with primers at that point. I want to see what the foundation can do by itself. If it ends up looking dry, then I know I need a hydrating primer. If I look really, really shiny really quickly, then I know I need something more mattifying. But at this stage, I want to see what the foundation looks like by itself. So we do have this brush on the end that I'm going to try out first. I don't really like the idea of this brush on the other end of the foundation. I think it doesn't make it very easy to clean. I'd rather not have it and the product be a little bit cheaper and just use my own tools, but we are going to try it out. Let's go with circular motions, or attempt to anyway. I don't know how I feel about that brush. I mean, it's working. It's not looking particularly streaky or anything. That's actually blended it out quite nicely. I'm gonna add some more because I don't feel like it's particularly spread out, and I'm gonna go all the way to the forehead. Oh my god, guys, look at that. It started cracking. Can you guys see? Look at that, guys. It's just started cracking. I really hope that doesn't mean it's gonna break. That would be really, really annoying. I'm gonna put the lid back on. I feel like I'm gonna have to use quite a bit of product. Like, it doesn't feel like it blends out very far. It's definitely not giving me full coverage. I've got so much showing through. I feel like it almost struggles to blend into itself, like as I'm getting to spots where I've already had foundation applied. It's not looking super even on the forehead. I'm gonna come back and even out all of that, but first I wanna pop it on the other side. Oh my god, you guys. Well, that's annoying, isn't it? Am I pressing too hard on it or something? Maybe. Alright, I'm gonna try not to make... This is making it very hard to use. Okay, we've got a whole chunk breaking off. It feels really soft and really creamy. All right, I'm gonna take my sponge on this side. This is just my Beauty Bay microfiber sponge. Okay, I feel like I'm getting a lot more coverage on this side. I don't know if maybe where it's broken off as well, I've just applied more product. Very unimpressed that it's broken off like that though. It does seem to spread out pretty well. It doesn't feel thick on the skin, but does it just maybe look a little bit mask-like? Alright, I'm gonna pop... I don't know how to use this now. That was a terrible idea. What am I gonna do? I need a spatula. Yeah, it's really, like, I don't know if it's too hot or something, but it is really creamy. And let me just use it with the spatula instead, like that. I'm just gonna try and build it up a bit on this side, try and get more coverage out. I'm gonna take a little bit more on my spatula, just like that. And let's see if we can cover these spots up. I think this shade is maybe a tiny bit too light for me, which is annoying because I would say this is like the right shade for me. It's just not the right undertone. And I think the next neutral shade from this was like 140, so it was clearly just gonna be way too dark. I would say that the coverage is pretty good. I've definitely still got a lot showing through, and I normally would spot conceal, but I'm gonna be wearing a mask, so I'm not too bothered about that. I could probably do with spot concealing this one, actually. I don't know why that's coming through. I definitely definitely don't feel like it's fully matte. I feel like this is definitely slightly more luminous, so maybe they are going for that more luminous matte effect. I don't think this would be particularly dehydrating. I feel like it could be fuller coverage. Like if I can still see my spots underneath, then it's not the fullest level of coverage, is it? Like there's quite a lot still coming through. I would definitely spot conceal over this. I feel like there's something I don't like about it on my forehead. I feel like it's not sitting right with my texture. That's something that could change throughout the day. That's something that could look better as my oils come through. Right now, I don't know. I feel like it does remind me of the Makeup Forever foundation stick, which I used for several years. I absolutely loved it. I feel like it does give me a similar result to this. I just wouldn't call this matte. Like this is the second time I've picked up a foundation this year that said it was matte, and I'm like, is it? I don't know, like I'm seeing a lot of glow come through. I'm looking at this and I feel like it's not gonna sit well with my texture. There's something about this that makes me think it's not gonna look nice as the day goes on. Alright, let's move on to concealing. I'm just gonna quickly spot conceal in the areas that you are gonna be able to see, so just my forehead. I'm just taking my Conceal and Define Infinite in C3. And then I'm going to highlight with my W7 Perfectly Matte Concealer in the shade Fair. Am I? I think that might be too dark. I'm going to take Buttermilk instead from I Heart Revolution. Let's try and remove some of that. I'm going to highlight everything, even though I'm going to be wearing the mask, just to see how it blends out. Okay, well that all seems to have blended in pretty well into the foundation, I would say. There's no issues there. I'm just gonna see if I can highlight a bit more out here. And then I think I want to see how my cream blush sits on top of this foundation, just because I quite like cream blushes at the moment. So I'm going to take the Barry M Fresh Face Cheek and Lip Tint. This is the shade Peach Glow. I'm just taking it on the back of my hand, getting rid of that excess. I think that's okay. I don't think it's moving any of the product underneath. And then I'm just going to powder down. So I'm going to use the Revolution Eye Bright Setting Powder on the under eyes, and then MAC Mineralized Skin Finishing Light on the rest of my face. Ooh, okay, that is really not looking good. Let me zoom you guys in. Can you guys see what my forehead looks like right now? I just have like this one big forehead wrinkle and it has settled in so bad. That is not a good look. That is not a good look. I'm not very happy with that. The cream blush is looking pretty good though. I'm pretty happy with that. I feel like that didn't move the foundation. Yeah, no, my forehead does not look good. My forehead looks really textured. I feel like the lower half of my face looks okay. Like now that I've powdered, I think that my nose actually does look pretty good. I think it will probably get oily quite quickly because that foundation definitely isn't fully matte, but I don't feel like it's accentuating anything on the lower half of my face, whereas my forehead looks so lumpy. I'm just going to pop on some fixing spray. This is just the I Heart Revolution Vanilla and Coconut fixing spray. I don't want something that says it's going to prolong the wear or anything or make it more matte, because I don't want it to affect the foundation. This one is just literally a fixing spray. I just want it to bring the powderiness down and just mesh those layers in together. I was hoping that that might help settle the forehead down, but it really hasn't. I'm going to zoom you guys in again so you can see what I'm talking about. It's just not sitting well at all. It's really horribly textured. It really doesn't look nice, and that is especially annoying when you're going to be wearing a mask all day, because that is the part of my head that is going to be on show. Right, I'm just going to carry on with the rest of my makeup and see how that applies on top of the foundation. I'm actually going to use an MUA bronzer. This is the Matte Bronzing Powder shade 100, the lightest one. I want to see how it goes on the forehead, if it moves the foundation in any way. You know what, I actually normally think that this bronzer looks so yellow, but I feel like it's alright with this foundation. I don't know why. I do actually really like the undertone to the foundation, and I feel like this bronzer is working pretty well with it. Just gonna go back over that with my sponge. Alright, let's look at that forehead. I think this is looking okay. I actually feel like it's now looking smoother. Like Maybe it has moved the product around actually, but it's improved it, because it almost looks better where I've got my bronzer than where I don't. Maybe it's just kind of helped it settle in a little bit. Let me add some contour. I'm gonna use the I Heart Revolution Chocolate Contour. Again, I don't know why I'm doing this, because no one is going to be seeing that part of my face today. I feel like the product is sitting better where I have my contour and bronzer on. Like, they're blending in pretty well. I am going to try blush as well, because sometimes powder blush can ruin everything. And I actually picked up the MUA Blushed Powder Colour Duo. This is the shade Peachy. Because I was paying the shipping fee, I was like, I don't want to pay a shipping fee just for one item. I want it to feel worth it. And I've actually decluttered the original blushes that I had from MUA. So I thought I'd try one of these instead. I thought this would have a shimmer. It looked really shimmery online, but it doesn't. I'm going to try my Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH06 brush. I'm going to mix both of them in. Let's see what happens. Let me pick up some more product. Okay, there we go. We're getting somewhere. It really wasn't picking up anything for a while. Is this where we're getting an issue? Okay, I don't think it's removed any product. I've gone quite overboard now. I always do this. I just don't pay attention to what I'm doing, and then I end up with too much product. I don't actually think it's removing any product under the foundation. I thought it was. I think, again, the product is looking smoother where I've gone in with that powder product. I'm just wondering if I would have needed to use a powder that I would kind of buff in a bit more, because it's almost like where I've applied those powder products, the foundation looks better. Let me just go back in with my powder brush. I've not taken any extra product. I'm just kind of buffing over, seeing if that makes a difference. No, okay, that may have been a bad idea. I've definitely got, let me zoom you in again. Something is not sitting right just here. It's looking very textured. It's almost like some product has been removed. Was that me right now with that brush? Possibly. That may have been a terrible idea. I just don't have a good feeling for how this is going to last throughout the day. I don't feel like it's very stable, which doesn't make sense to me for a matte foundation, because a matte foundation I feel should be like kind of the most stable. It shouldn't slip and slide around, but then I guess it has to be creamier to be in a stick foundation. I don't know. I don't know. All right, I'm just gonna go and finish the rest of my makeup off camera now, and we'll come back and we'll just see how it looks. All right, guys, so the rest of my makeup is now on. As you can see, I have kept things pretty simple today, just a bold liner and a bold lip. I've also added on some fake freckles just because this foundation is definitely like just a smidge too light, and I did do a couple more layers of setting spray just to try and settle everything in together, kind of improve the texture. So right now it is 9:15. You can't see that. It is 9:15. Let's have a look at how this is sitting. It's Let me zoom you in. Let me just zoom you in again. This just does not bode well for the rest of the day. Like, I started doing my makeup, what, about an hour ago at this point. I do have a lot of settling in my smile lines. Now, I will say I get settling in my smile lines with pretty much almost every foundation I use. It's not something that's going to improve as I get older. It's looking pretty cakey at the base of my nose, and I feel like I've just removed some product right now by trying to improve it with my finger. I really don't think this foundation is going to be particularly stable. The texture here, that's not looking good. That's definitely moved. There's really texture on my forehead. There's a lot of settling, and considering this is supposed to be a matte foundation, this is just not something that I would expect. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, I am going to work later on today. I'm not doing a very long shift today. I'm just doing 3 hours, but I am going to be wearing a mask. I feel like a matte foundation in theory should be the best thing to last under a mask. It shouldn't be transferring, but right now as I'm looking at this, I'm not feeling particularly confident. I think it's gonna rub off, but we shall see. So what I'll do is check in with you guys when I get back from work. We'll see how it's looking. I do also cycle to work, so that is another test, and I do actually wear a headband when I'm cycling so that the helmet doesn't damage my foundation. So yeah, I'm gonna go and film my intro. I'm gonna take the photos, and I'll see you guys in a few hours, and we will see how this is looking. And I'm really hoping that this foundation will prove me wrong, but right now I'm not the biggest fan of how it looks. All right, guys, it is now 10 to 3, so I've had the foundation on for a few hours now. I guess the best thing to do is zoom you in and see exactly how it's looking, so let's do that. First of all, can we take a moment for my liquid lipstick, which I thought had lasted really well, and then I looked at it in the mirror and realised that it's clearly rubbed off with the mask and it's ended up all over my chin. What was I wearing? It's listed down below. I was wearing one of the Lime Crime plushies. This is the shade Pumpkin Latte. Do not recommend this with a mask. Does not work. So let's have a look at this foundation. The first thing that I want to mention is what I noticed when I got to work. As I said, I wear the headband and then the helmet over it, and I think you can still see it. It just created a whole line across my forehead, and it was really obvious, and I was like, oh my god, I now have to work with a line across my forehead. It definitely did seem to improve as the day went along, so I think the foundation has moved around. I obviously have the glasses marks on the nose. That happens every time. And then in terms of the mask, I wear a silk mask, and I did wash it last night, and unfortunately it was still a little bit damp, so I don't know if that might have made things a little bit worse, possibly. It has pretty much taken everything off my nose. I mean, you can see clearly there's nothing about this foundation that is mask proof. It has taken loads off on the jawline. The chin looks really bad. The nose is definitely the worst. Overall, this is pretty bad. This looks pretty awful. Okay, I'm gonna leave this here. I'm gonna go about my day. I don't know if there's really a point to doing another check-in because it looks bad right now. It really does. I don't even feel like I could, you know, try powdering it again to see what that does, because like in some areas there's nothing left to powder. But I'm gonna go about the rest of my day now without wearing a mask. We'll see if that does anything to it, but yeah, it's not good so far. It's not good so far. Alright guys, it is now just gone 7, so I think at this point I've had the foundation on for 10 hours, so we have definitely been testing it out for a while now. I mean, I'm gonna zoom you guys in, but the whole face right now is a struggle. My brows are struggling, my lipstick, my eyeliner is still doing really well. The sheen liners proving themselves time and time again. But let me zoom you guys in all the way. The most change that we've had is that I am more oily. I mean, there was no coming back from it. There was no improving it. I mean, it's not much worse at this point because it was terrible a few hours ago. So as far as first impressions go, we can definitely say that this has not been successful. I am a little bit disappointed, especially after how much I liked the original Pro Base foundation. As of right now, as of this first impression, I would not be happy recommending this foundation. Considering that this foundation says it is matte, I did not find that to be the case. It didn't look matte when we applied it. It was very creamy as well. You know, we saw that it cracked, it broke on my face. It was very difficult to apply. Perhaps using a mattifying primer underneath or some sort of pore filling primer, because I did have a lot of issues with settling. Maybe that could make it work better. Another option might be to powder it down quite a bit. I did only use a light powder, so I definitely am going to be using it again. Absolutely. I'm going to try it with different primers, different powders, different products, just to see how it behaves. At this time, I just wouldn't recommend it for oily skin. As for working on dry skin, I mean, potentially that is who it could work better for. What concerns me is that people with dry skin might have some texture. They might have patches of flaky skin, dry patches, and considering the issues that I had with my texture today, my concern would be that it wouldn't work for dry skin, but I could be completely wrong. I would say the one thing that really surprises me is the fact that MUA have decided to release this product now with everything going on. I mean, I don't know how long they've had this planned for. Maybe they started planning this before everything hit the fan last year, so maybe this is a product they've had in development for a while and that's why they've released it. I just feel like it's a weird choice considering what other brands are doing because of the fact that we're wearing masks. Obviously, I tried wearing a mask with this today. It wasn't even a full day. It was 3 hours and it just didn't work. So for me, this is a weird foundation to release right now because it kind of doesn't work with the conditions that we have. So yeah, again, a little bit disappointed right now. I did have high expectations for it, but who knows, maybe I can turn it around. I will definitely be getting back to you on that one. So that is it for today's video, guys. I hope as always that you enjoyed it and that you found it helpful. Definitely let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this foundation are, if you were thinking of picking it up, if this is kind of put you off of it or swayed you the other way. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. I'm gonna go and take this off because it's not uncomfortable. I think I haven't mentioned that. It doesn't feel bad on my skin. Like, it doesn't feel like it's clogging up my pores or anything, but I know that it looks like this and I just want to take it off. So that is what I'm gonna do. If you enjoyed this video, then do as always, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, then do please make sure that you hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye, guys.